There is a quiet contradiction that many people carry without ever fully realizing it. It lives in the space between wanting to be seen and fearing what happens when you finally are. It shows up when you work tirelessly for approval, replay conversations in your mind, and wonder if you are enough. Yet, the moment someone offers genuine praise, you brush it away, deflect it, or feel strangely uncomfortable. You might laugh it off. You might change the subject. You might tell yourself they're just being polite. And deep down, you might feel unsettled rather than uplifted. This is the psychology of people who crave validation but reject compliments. It is not hypocrisy. It is not arrogance. It is not ingratitude. It is a complex emotional pattern rooted in early experiences, self-perception, and the way the human mind learns to protect itself from disappointment. At its core, this pattern is about longing for reassurance while simultaneously fearing belief in it. For many people who struggle with this contradiction, validation feels like oxygen. It feels necessary for emotional survival. Praise becomes proof that they are worthy, lovable, competent, or safe. Without it, doubt grows louder. Self-criticism becomes harsher. Silence feels like rejection. They may constantly seek feedback, check reactions, monitor tone, and scan faces for approval. A delayed reply can spiral into self-blame. A neutral expression can feel like disapproval. Yet, when validation finally arrives, something unexpected happens. Instead of relief, there is tension. Instead of comfort, there is disbelief. Instead of warmth, there is resistance. You're just being nice. You don't really mean that. Anyone could have done it. It wasn't that great. The compliment bounces off. It does not sink in. It does not settle. It does not become part of their self-image. To understand why, we have to go back to where self-worth first forms. Many people who develop this pattern grew up in environments where praise was inconsistent, conditional, or emotionally complicated. Maybe affection was tied to achievement. Maybe love was given when they performed well and withdrawn when they didn't. Maybe they were praised publicly but criticized privately. Maybe they were overlooked, compared, or emotionally neglected. Maybe they learned early that approval was something you earned, not something you were entitled to. In these environments, children learn that being valued is unstable. They learn that love can disappear. They learn that mistakes have emotional consequences. They learn that acceptance is fragile. So they adapt, they become hyper-aware of expectations. They become skilled at reading moods. They learn how to please. They learn how to perform. They learn how to be good enough to stay safe. Over time, this creates an internal belief system that says, my worth depends on how others see me. I have to prove myself. I can't relax. I can't assume I'm enough. This belief becomes the foundation of their emotional world. As adults, this shows up as validation-seeking behavior. They may overwork, overgive, overthink, overapologize, overexplain. They may become perfectionistic. They may struggle to say no. They may feel responsible for other people's emotions. They may fear disappointing anyone. They may constantly question whether they are doing enough. Validation becomes their emotional currency. But at the same time, many of them also grow up internalizing criticism more deeply than praise. When someone points out a flaw, it sticks. When someone expresses disappointment, it echoes. When someone questions their worth, it confirms their worst fears. Negative feedback feels familiar. It fits the internal narrative. It aligns with the voice in their head that says they are not enough. Compliments, on the other hand, feel foreign. They clash with the internal story, and when something doesn't match your self-image, the mind often rejects it. This is called cognitive dissonance, the discomfort that arises when external information conflicts with internal beliefs. If you secretly believe you are inadequate, unreliable, or unworthy, praise creates tension. It feels unsafe to accept it. It threatens the emotional structure you have built around self-doubt. So instead of updating the belief, the mind dismisses the evidence. It's exaggerated. They're lying. They don't know the real me. They'll change their mind. Rejecting compliments is not modesty. It is self-protection. If you never fully accept praise, you never fully risk losing it. If you don't believe someone's admiration, you don't have to fear its disappearance. If you keep compliments at a distance, they cannot hurt you later. This pattern is especially common in people who have experienced emotional inconsistency, betrayal, abandonment, or relational instability. When someone's affection has been unpredictable in the past, trust becomes dangerous. Even positive attention feels temporary. Even kindness feels fragile. So the nervous system stays guarded, it stays alert, it stays skeptical, it stays prepared for loss. There is also often a deep fear of being found out. Many validation-seeking individuals carry imposter syndrome. They feel like they are pretending to be competent, lovable, or confident. They believe that if others really knew them, their doubts, mistakes, insecurities, they would withdraw their approval. So when someone praises them, it feels undeserved. It feels like a misunderstanding. It feels like a mistake. It feels like borrowed validation. And borrowing something that might be taken back feels unsafe. This leads to a cycle. They seek validation because they doubt themselves. They reject validation because they distrust it. They doubt themselves even more. They seek validation again, over and over. In relationships, this pattern creates quiet emotional tension. They may crave reassurance from partners, but struggle to receive it. When told, "I love you," they may think, "for now." When told, "You're important to me," they may think, "until I mess up." When told, "You're amazing," they may think, "You'll see." They may test relationships unconsciously. They may seek proof that they won't be abandoned. They may interpret small conflicts as signs of rejection. They may become anxious, clingy, or withdrawn depending on their attachment style. Friends may notice that no amount of encouragement ever seems enough. Partners may feel confused, wondering why their words never land. At work, these individuals may be high achievers who never feel satisfied. Promotions feel temporary. Praise feels hollow. Success feels fragile. They may constantly feel behind, inadequate, or replaceable, even when objectively thriving. Internally, this creates chronic emotional exhaustion. Living on external validation is like standing on unstable ground. Your sense of worth shifts with every interaction. One good comment lifts you. One bad experience crushes you. Your emotional state becomes dependent on feedback loops you cannot control. And rejecting compliments prevents you from building internal stability. Because self-worth is built through repeated emotional evidence, every accepted compliment is a brick. Every acknowledged achievement is support. Every internalized kindness is reinforcement. When you reject them, you stay emotionally undernourished. You remain hungry. Another layer to this pattern is fear of responsibility. Accepting praise means accepting expectations. If you're good at this, now you have to stay good. If you're amazing, now you can't fail. If you're strong, now you can't fall apart. So rejecting compliments becomes a way of lowering pressure. "I'm not that great. Don't expect too much. Please don't hold me to this." It's a way of protecting yourself from future disappointment, both yours and others. Healing this pattern does not start with forcing confidence. It starts with understanding, with compassion, with recognizing that this behavior once helped you survive. It kept you alert. It kept you adaptable. It kept you trying. It kept you safe. But survival strategies are not always growth strategies. At some point, what protected you begins to limit you. Learning to receive compliments is an emotional skill. It requires tolerance for vulnerability. It requires letting yourself be seen without immediately minimizing yourself. It requires sitting with discomfort and allowing positive feedback to exist without interrogation. At first, it will feel unnatural. You may feel exposed. You may feel undeserving. You may feel anxious. You may feel tempted to deflect. That's okay. You don't have to suddenly believe everything. You only have to stop rejecting it. You can start with simple acceptance. "Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot." No explanation, no denial, no correction, just presence. Over time, these moments accumulate. They slowly rewrite the internal narrative. They begin to challenge the belief that you are only valuable when you prove yourself. They begin to show you that you are allowed to be appreciated without earning it. You are allowed to be valued without performing. You are allowed to be loved without perfection. You are allowed to be admired without fear. Craving validation does not mean you are weak. It means you learned to rely on others for safety before you learned to trust yourself. Rejecting compliments does not mean you are ungrateful. It means you are still learning how to feel secure in positive attention. And that learning is possible at any age, with patience, with reflection, with gentle courage. You do not have to become someone who never doubts themselves. You only have to become someone who doesn't automatically believe their doubts more than others' kindness. You deserve to let good words stay. You deserve to let appreciation reach you. You deserve to believe that sometimes when someone sees something beautiful in you, they might be telling the truth. And little by little, you can learn to see it too.